What's up, guys? It's Rey-Jay back with another video. And in this one, I want to give you guys a very quick update about the markets, talk about something huge that's coming out for tomorrow. Please note that I am not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice. And don't forget to check out my Webull link. If you deposit any amount of money, you're guaranteed 12 free stocks. If you deposit $500, you're guaranteed 20 in total. If you deposit $25,000 or more, you're guaranteed 75. Anyways, the market's holding up quite decently so far. SPY made a new all-time high, hitting 577. We're holding above 576 nicely so far, and we're doing a good job. But the question now remains, what's going to come out for tomorrow? I'm going to break that down. Tomorrow is going to be our CPI day, so this is going to cause a very big move in the markets, and that's going to be the next big catalyst for us. Today, the market pumped approaching the FOMC minutes, which revealed to us that the majority of the Fed officials were in favor of getting a 50 basis point cut, and this was not bad whatsoever. The market was still holding up with this data coming out, and even though there were some Fed officials that were against it, the odds still favor a 50 basis point cut for November, even with the data coming out. So not bad whatsoever after FOMC minutes. Once again, the majority of the Fed members were in favor of 50 basis points. So with that being said, tomorrow is going to be the next day that we have major data. 1 hour before the market opens, we have the CPI data report coming out. We're expecting core CPI to be around 0.2%, which is a slight decrease month over month. For year over year, we're expecting 3.1 to 3.2%. That is basically the same as before. And that's for core. For all items CPI month over month, we're expecting 0.1%, which is a decrease. And then for all items CPI year over year, we're expecting 2.3%, which is a slight decrease. So we're expecting everything to decrease except for the year over year for core CPI. We're expecting that to be basically the same or very close to the same as before. So we'll see how things end up going. We also have some jobs numbers, which are kind of minor, but the main thing is going to be CPI. So I think CPI is going to cause a big move, and that's going to be the next factor involved in the markets. Just know that it comes out before the market opens tomorrow. So that means that if you are holding something overnight, whether it's a short position or a long position, if you're playing ES, be careful, guys. Be careful if you're holding anything overnight, because with CPI coming out, you never know what's about to happen. Is CPI about to cause a rug pull? Is the market about to be coming back down for a pullback starting now? Or is the market going to continue to push up higher and get closer to 580 after CPI comes out, and then we see us end up dipping? My view of the market is very simple. I think that there is still upside potential as we're holding up very nicely, and SPY could still get closer to that 580 target. It's still a possibility, but that depends on CPI. And even if we do pump all the way up to those targets, I still personally believe that there's a good chance we're going to get some kind of rug pull as we get closer to November. I still hold that same view. My views of the market have not shifted. I still hold the same views as before. So if we're bullish on SPY, okay, you want to see us break past 577. If that's the case, we're looking for 578s to 580s our target. That range is going to be our more bullish target. For the bearish target, you want to see us lose 575 after CPI comes out. We're going to be dumping all the way back down to like 572 potentially. I don't think that's going to be the case right now. I think for the time being, the market's going to hold up, but then we'll see what happens with CPI. Although CPIs have been decent, the market has seen more good reactions to them for the last couple of reports. Be careful and be open-minded to anything. We will see how the data ends up looking. So once again, if you're holding anything overnight, be careful. We'll see what this leads to if you're holding anything overnight for CPI. For ES, we're anticipating that this could be approaching 58.40 again if CPI is decent, and maybe even break all-time highs to hit 58.50 plus. If we don't get a good CPI, if things are not as great, that could lead to the market dipping. If CPI is a little bit above expectations, we're going to be dipping back down to the 5800 area. As of right now, the market remains bullish, so this could be pushing for 58.50. So far, so good. For other factors out there, we have Nvidia. Nvidia is forming a potential top because it's really struggling to break past the resistance. It pumped very nicely, and it looks like it may pull back a little bit. So be careful with Nvidia. We have 136 and 140 as our resistance zones. We came just short of 136, just short of it, so it came very close. But if we can't get back above 135, we're at risk of dipping towards 130. If that fails us, we're going down to 128. So be careful and watch those levels on Nvidia. It's kind of turning here, not doing the best of jobs at holding up, but it's not a bad way of looking at things because we already pumped so much. We used to be at like 113, 115 just a couple of days ago. Now we're at basically the 130s. So you can see how much it ran already approaching the AI Summit event. And now it's kind of like priced in a lot of that. So that's why it's starting to cool off a little bit. So it could dip closer to 130 again. Bitcoin looks a little bit more bearish. It could be dipping towards 60,500. It needs to reclaim 61,250 to turn back up. Otherwise, the odds are favoring the downside direction. For Tesla's a little bit weak, unfortunately. It's been making lower highs, continuing to reject. It could dip a little bit lower. We could get closer to about 240, but I'm not officially a big bear on Tesla or a big bull. I'm just waiting to see what happens with the robotaxi event for tomorrow. They could be announcing the new Model 2. They could be announcing something very cool about a Tesla van that's coming out and then new capabilities of the potential robotaxi, not to mention their more affordable EV. So we'll see what they end up announcing. I think Musk is also going to be discussing FSD for the Tesla Semi. There's been a lot of talk about all of that. So will this cause Tesla to bounce? And is this basically like a cup and handle that's forming, right? You could look at this as a potential cup and handle, or it may not be. It could just be like a head and shoulders that leads to downside. We have a gap down to 230 that could get filled if Tesla does not do as well. So this could easily dump more than 10 points. We also have a gap to fill up here around the higher 250s. So it could easily run about 15 points. So it could go either way, guys. It could go either way. I'm in the middle. We're just waiting for the big event. Otherwise, it's a little bit lackluster for the time being. I'm just going to go over a couple more. NQ looks more bullish. We're looking for basically 20,500. If that breaks, this will pump even more. And if we reject off 20,400, we're looking for 20,200 as our target. Right now, it looks bullish. Looks like it wants to go up to 20,500. We'll see if that ends up being the case. QQQ looks bullish. If you want to break this resistance at 493, we're looking for a target of this gap fill for 495. So it still looks more bullish to me. If we were to lose 490, I would turn a little bit more concerned, but so far it looks more bullish. It looks like it wants to fill that gap. So it's doing a good job. For Aapl, Apple's trying to push. If we end up looking and we end up losing 228, we're looking for 225. We continue to push, we're looking for 230 as our resistance. That's where this imbalance happens to be. I think the odds favor upside for Apple, so it might try to push higher. So we'll see how things end up going. This depends on the CPI, but it still looks more bullish to me. For the IWM, it looks a little bit weaker. We tried to push to fill this gap. We came just under my 220 target, only to come back down. So we could be dipping to 216 again. For Coinbase, we're dipping. We got a rejection. We were not able to hold above our 50 EMA at around 169. I said we had to hold 169 or else this thing is going to dip. And lo and behold, we did not hold this. So we're coming down to this gap fill for 163. Most likely that's what's going to happen. Amazon's looking more bullish. We need to hold above 185.13. If that holds, we're looking for 186.5 as our target. Then 188 above that. If we don't hold 185.13, we could be dipping back down to 183.9. So it still looks more bullish to me. Meta is more bullish. We're making higher highs and higher lows as we're holding our 20 EMA. If we lose 586, we're going to be dipping back down to 580. If we hold this, we could be bouncing back up for the 590s. So far, we're holding this, so we could try to rebound. So give this some time. For Microsoft, we're trying to rebound. We're looking at resistance around this 420 area. If 420 breaks, we're looking for a bigger push. If this rejects, we're looking for 416 as our target. So looking to see if 416 holds. We're not doing a good job at holding 420 as we got a downgrade. Not the best of news. Also, Google got a downgrade from different analysts, which is what caused the share price to dip. Despite the fact that they signed a deal, it's not really enough for them to bounce. So it could dip closer to about the 160 area. So it looks a little bit more bearish. So be careful. Some of these tech stocks look a little bit weaker. SPY is still close to all-time highs, but we'll see if this forms a top soon or not. CPI is going to be the next big factor. So if you're holding anything overnight, be careful. And don't forget my view of the market. We could go a little higher. We could be getting closer to 580 on SPY. It's a possibility. But I still hold the view there's going to be a rug pull coming. The market is still due for that. It's going to be coming very, very soon. We're not ready yet. It may take another week, another couple of days. That depends on CPI and all these different factors. So once again, if you're holding overnight, it's your choice. You could make a lot of money. You may not. It's up to you guys. I just want to give you guys the warning about CPI overnight, which is going to be coming out before the market opens. Have a great day, guys. I'll see you guys very soon in the next one, and peace out.